So today we are going to be talking a little bit about the tactics that Senegal used, and they just did not work. It didn't work against anyone necessarily long-term against Team USA. However, it really didn't work when Caitlin Clark was on the floor. Like, if you look at the plus minuses of this team, Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark, Monique Billings, in fairness, Jackie Young didn't really play much with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum, 35. Most of these were the players that played a lot of time with Caitlin Clark and Caitlin Clark on the floor. The Team USA were significantly better with Caitlin Clark on the floor than with Caitlin Clark off the floor. It is one of these things where it is very, very clear that there is a level gap. I talk about it again. It'll be a video probably out tomorrow. Because what I don't want to do is upload all my stuff. I need to upload so many things talking about this game, and the game ended kind of late. So I might be uploading videos till 7 o'clock in the morning today, for all I know. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please subscribe. We are trying to hit 57.2k as soon as possible. I'm working my ass off right now, and please let there be a WNBA season so we can do this for every game. We can start talking about basketball again, which is huge. That being said, we have to talk about this. So Senegal were a physical team. They had a bit of athleticism, and I thought that there was a lot of trouble when it comes to, like, say, Team USA dealing with the defense of Senegal. However, the guards struggled. So if you watched early in this game, like the starting five was Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Angel Reese, Jackie Young, and Diarra Gambi. Like, within 35 seconds, they stopped. Chelsea Gray stopped taking the ball up. They were full court pressing, and they were overly physical. Like, to the extent where you could absolutely argue they're just hacking the shit out of them. And they were being overly physical. They were fouling. They were doing everything they could to try use the one thing. I'm not going to say it was one advantage they had, but, like, they had a physical team. It was their one strength. Like, I think this Senegal team probably beats the New Zealand team, or they at least run it close. But they were a physical team, and they, at times, players struggle with it. Like, they blitzed Paige Bueckers badly. Like, Paige taking the ball up, they blitzed her badly, and she went and lost the ball. It was almost like she was shell-shocked at a blitz. We saw Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray was just backing down. And it got to the stage where, again, 35 seconds into the game, they stopped her playing point guard. And we were seeing Hamby taking the ball up, Angel Reese taking the ball up, Jackie Young taking the ball up, and Chelsea Gray being relegated to a wing player, which, again, she's good at, which she's better at. Like, she kind of moved off the point. That being said, while Chelsea Gray moved off the point, you've now got Kelsey Plum, who at times played a little bit at the one. Kelsey Plum did okay, but she at least had the foot speed. But the Senegal coach, I hate saying this, but, like, I think the Senegal coach went out with an A+ game plan. Like, it's hard to say. Like, it's hard saying that when you lose by 64 points. But I actually think that the Senegal coach went out with an A+ game plan. He did get himself chucked. But, like, there were spells in the game where they did a good job, of kind of making sure USA weren't scoring. The problem is that they couldn't do it when Caitlin Clark was on the floor, because Caitlin Clark was turning every single one of those blitzes into open layups. Like, they actually had to stop blitzing Caitlin Clark, because what ended up happening was they would blitz Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark, she was the only player, by the way. This is a really weird thing. Like, I don't understand why, especially at Paige Bueckers, who teams are going to start blitzing her more, she doesn't react well to it. That escape dribble to get that space to then make the pass. Because if you're able to anticipate a blitz and you go and make that escape dribble, what ends up happening is that, especially a not very good team like Senegal, who are going to be over-aggressive on defense, they'll bring the blitz out to the halfway line. So you're at a situation then where it is, you've got two on the player is nowhere near the basket. You make a pass to one wing, you're getting a hockey assist if you've got smart players around. And when it was Senegal, they were trying to stop that release pass from Caitlin Clark. So they were literally just leaving her just easy passes for layups. You could see how many easy shots they got. And like, look, Team Senegal had no answer at all. They had no answer for Team USA. But they especially had no answer for Caitlin Clark. When Caitlin Clark was on the floor, it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Like, when Caitlin was on the floor, it was just open shot after open shot after open shot. We all saw it. There was nothing that there was nothing they could do. They could not stop Caitlin Clark. And like, it very much is a case where you have to almost pick your poison. And the thing is that everyone says it was like, you have to let Caitlin pass or you have to let her shoot. I think even Paige said as much, where it's like, you have to let her do one of the two. You can't stop her doing both. And we've seen so many teams that are that have been talking about this and talking about how to guard Caitlin and what they're doing guarding Caitlin. But we're now seeing that if you put the right pieces around Caitlin, guarding Caitlin is, I'm not going to say it's an impossibility, but it's not that far off. Like, I wouldn't say it's going to be that far off calling it a near impossibility to guard Caitlin Clark. Because if you put the right piece around her, you can't guard her in single coverage because of how she turns the corner. They collapsed and held. Like, when she drove to the basket, they threw three bodies on her. She took the defenders, stood with her left foot, instead, not even a jump shot, of 1 foot, dotted Ryan Howard. She saw 2 passes ahead what the defense was going to do. They trapped Caitlin, especially in the first half. And by the way, she had 8 and 8 in the first half. So she was better in the first half. They trapped Caitlin. They blitzed Caitlin. They doubled Caitlin. They collapsed on Caitlin anytime she looked to drive. And all she did was completely destroy everything they were doing. And by the way, their defense was, the 2 turnovers Caitlin threw were good, aggressive turnovers. I'm more concerned about when Caitlin tried to go right and nearly dribbled and someone got a hand on it, but she nearly went right too much and dribbled over the sideline. It wasn't a turnover. I'm more concerned about that, something that wasn't a turnover as far as ball handling is concerned than the actual turnovers. And the one thing Caitlin Clark I felt did really well was they were trying to pressure her to go keep going right. And that behind the back dribble looks so comfortable. It looks so comfortable. And that's how she can get herself back into the middle. Like, she's not, one thing Caitlin Clark isn't the greatest at is that crossover, because she's not going to be able to break you back down. She's not going to be able to stand up and break you down like a Paige Bueckers. But like, if she's able to now get up the floor and still, while keeping that forward momentum, be able to get back into the middle or get back away from that right-hand sideline without, like, while doing what she does. So it's a huge thing. And like, the fact is that she's able to attack the baseline, like being able to create space while attacking the wing, while going from the wing to the corner is fucking berserk. Like, that is a Caitlin Clark, it is absolutely like a Caitlin Clark thing that is so rare in basketball that she's able to do. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I rewatched bits of this and I'm like, they tried. They went out with a game plan and it actually was executed as well as they possibly could. And it was, we want to make it as uncomfortable as possible for ball handlers. By doing that, they left a lot of open jump shots, but they forced quite a few. They forced Paige into a blitz. They forced Chelsea Gray off the ball. They actually did what they wanted to do. It's just USA are way better than them. And you can still lose by 64 while executing a good game plan. The only player that I saw that it wasn't just a situation where it's like they're just better, which other players are better, where like a player that I saw and I was like, holy shit, like their game plan is rendered null and void for this player. It was with Caitlin Clark, because the other players were just better. USA, they couldn't really start blitzing everybody because they had 4 different ball handlers, and they tried to blitz a lot of time with big guards. And to be fair, like, a good effort by Senegal, which is nowhere near as good. USA could have won by 80. And I was just really, really impressed with how Caitlin Clark dealt with it, because they have athletes and they blitzed. If Caitlin Clark turned the ball over twice on blitzes, I would have had no concern. The fact she was the only player that was like using those blitzes to her advantage is a huge positive. The coach had zero answer to Caitlin Clark. And to be fair, Caitlin Clark, like, he had zero answer to anyone.